The day I got my pregnancy test results, my husband's young secretary hit me with her car, sending me flying. The baby was gone. I barely survived after a night of emergency surgery. When I woke up, his little secretary was pouting at my bedside, clinging to him. Ethan, I should be the only one having your baby. I can't stand the thought of you having a child with someone else. Ethan found her jealousy adorable. He signed the settlement agreement forgiving her on my behalf and pulled her into his arms. Shoo, it's okay. I'm already tired of her. You're my favorite now. Lying in the hospital bed, I looked at the man I had loved for 5 years, my gaze distant. Calmly, I sat up. The embracing couple froze instantly. Ethan pushed Chloe away and started to explain, but I interrupted him with a respectful brother. Ethan looked flustered. Vivian, you haven't called me brother since you were 18, for 6 years now. Why? I gave him a bright smile. Brother, what are you talking about? I'm only 18 right now. And mom adopted you, so what else would I call you? Ethan, usually so doting, panicked and quickly called the doctor. Doctor, what's going on here? The patient suffered a concussion, causing a blood clot to press on the memory nerves, resulting in temporary amnesia. The doctor, thinking Ethan was overcome with grief, quickly reassured him, "Don't worry, Mr. Ethan. In cases like this, memory usually returns once the blood clot dissolves. It could be as fast as a month, or maybe take around 3 months." Hearing this, Chloe stepped forward, grabbed Ethan's arm, and clutched her chest coquettishly. Ethan, see? I told you it wasn't serious. Look at me, seeing all that blood just makes my heart ache. Ethan visibly relaxed, his hands softening, but when he looked at me, he tensed up, trying to pull away from her. I smiled warmly at the intimate pair. You must be my sister-in-law, right? You look so good together with my brother. Ethan paused, about to explain, but Chloe cut him off. Yes, your brother and I have been married for 5 years. You should remember to call me sister-in-law from now on. Chloe clung to Ethan's arm, grinning from ear to ear. Ethan's face darkened, and he made an excuse to pull her outside. What nonsense are you telling Vivian? If her memory comes back, everything will be exposed. Ethan was angry at Chloe's presumption. Chloe smirked, raising a slender white hand to stroke Ethan's muscular chest, her eyes full of seduction. Ethan, what are you afraid of? Isn't it more exciting, playing around right under your wife's nose? Ethan was aroused, his voice deepening. But she could regain her memory anytime. Before he could finish, Chloe pulled his tie, forcing him to lower his head, her warm breath on his face. What are you afraid of? If she makes a fuss when she remembers, we'll just say she was the one pushing us together all along, that we couldn't help ourselves. Wouldn't that work? Ethan's lips curled slightly, and he wrapped an arm around her waist. You're the clever one. They exchanged a smile, having reached an agreement. Sitting in the hospital room, I heard their entire conversation, my eyes showing no emotion as I silently turned to look out the window. Soon, it was time for my discharge. The doctor said I was recovering well and could leave a day early. Ethan didn't show up. Maria, our housekeeper, picked me up. Maria said he was on a business trip and wouldn't be back until tomorrow. But when I got home, I heard faint, suggestive moans coming from my bedroom. The door wasn't fully closed. I peeked inside and saw a naked Chloe and Ethan tangled together on my bed. Baby, you're so much wilder. Not like her, she's gotten so boring these past 2 years, just lies there like a log. Silently, I backed away. Downstairs, Maria looked startled when she saw me, her eyes full of worry. Miss, why are you crying? I paused, wiped my tears, and smiled at Maria as if nothing was wrong. It's nothing, just got something in my eye. Half an hour later, the satisfied couple came downstairs. Ethan froze when he saw me. Sir, the doctor said Miss Vivian is recovering well, so she was discharged early. Ethan quickly masked his guilt, walked over, sat beside me, took my hand, and asked gently, Vivian, does your injury still hurt? Are you still uncomfortable? Chloe watched Ethan's tender gaze, her face visibly darkening with jealousy as she glared at me. Brother, I'm fine, don't worry. But sister-in-law doesn't seem happy. Is something wrong? I looked at Chloe, feigning confusion. Maria heard sister-in-law and paused. What sister-in-law? Isn't she Mr. Ethan's seeker? Before Maria could finish, Ethan pulled her aside. Maria, Vivian has amnesia right now and mistakenly thinks Chloe is her sister-in-law. Don't expose it, or she might get agitated. Hearing it was for my own good, Maria immediately agreed to keep the secret. You can go now, Ethan instructed Maria, then started to usher Chloe out. Brother, isn't sister-in-law going to live with us? I asked, looking puzzled as Chloe was about to leave. Chloe quickly seized the opportunity. Vivian dear, I'd love to stay, but your brother. Ethan frowned slightly, starting to push Chloe out as usual. Stay here? How could that work? I quickly pulled Chloe back, chiding Ethan with feigned annoyance. Brother, that's not right of you. Chloe is my sister-in-law, how can you send her away? Sister-in-law, you should live here from now on. Chloe's eyes lit up as she surveyed the spacious villa and luxurious furniture. Well, all right then. But you're the one who agreed to this, Ethan said, his reluctance vanishing instantly. From that day on, Chloe became my sister-in-law, the mistress of the house. In the evening, feeling stuffy indoors, I took the cat outside to play by the door. Seeing me standing in the draft, Maria quickly brought a shawl and wrapped it around me. Miss, you just got out of the hospital. It's windy here, Mr. Ethan will worry if you catch a cold. Will he worry? I forced a smile. Of course, sir cares about you the most. 5 years ago, when you had kidney failure, he didn't hesitate to donate one of his kidneys to you. After you got better, he'd rush home from work to cook for you, follow you wherever you went. Once when you had a fever, I saw him practically cry with worry. Nobody cares about you more than him. Before Maria could finish, Ethan walked towards us, interrupting her. Why are you standing by the door? Come back inside, it's time for dinner. Ethan habitually reached for my hand. I withdrew my hand, looking bewildered, and smiled. Brother, I'm grown up now, don't keep holding my hand like when we were kids. Besides, I'm going to marry Daniel someday. Ethan froze, a flicker of anger crossing his face. You're still thinking about that childhood sweetheart of yours? Seeing the tension, Chloe quickly walked over, linked her arm with his, and said smilingly, she's a grown woman now, she has to get married eventually. Then, Chloe turned to Maria, adopting the air of the lady of the house. Maria, there's nothing for you here. You can go home. Maria looked displeased, glanced at me, and only left after I nodded. Once she was gone, we went to dinner. I subconsciously moved to sit opposite Ethan, but Chloe rushed over, pushed me aside, and took the seat. Vivian, I'm your brother's wife. You sit on the side. Chloe gave me a provocative smile. I paused, then smiled back at her. Sister-in-law, you're right. During the meal, I felt the table move slightly. At the same moment, Chloe gave Ethan a suggestive smile. Ethan, are you enjoying this meal? Ethan's lips curved slightly, his eyes simmering with desire. Everything else is fine, but this lamb soup is a bit strong. I glanced sideways. Under the table, Chloe's foot had reached across. Looking back at them, the sparks were practically visible. I averted my gaze, stopped watching them, and even reminded them with a smile, brother, sister-in-law, hurry up and eat before the food gets cold. Later that night, after showering, I couldn't find my pajamas and went to Ethan's room. But as soon as I entered, I froze. Chloe was wearing my custom-made pajamas, sitting at my high-end vanity table, using my expensive skincare products. And Ethan, wearing only a towel, stood behind her, gently blow-drying her hair. All my things had a specific logo. I recognized them instantly. They were both startled when I appeared, especially Ethan. He hastily put down the hairdryer, quickly distanced himself from Chloe, looking exactly like someone caught cheating. I asked Chloe, feigning confusion, sister-in-law, my brother is so good to you. But, why are you wearing my pajamas? You too, are you confused? Quickly take off Vivian's pajamas, Ethan prompted her. Chloe looked aggrieved but still took off the pajamas and handed them to me. I looked at the worn pajamas, frowning slightly. Forget it, these pajamas are old anyway. If sister-in-law wants to wear them, she can. In this house, sister-in-law is the most important. With that, I walked out smiling. But as soon as I left, I heard Chloe say, Ethan, look at her. Even with amnesia, she still looks down on me. Tell her to get out immediately. I don't want to see her. Baby, don't be angry. I can't help it. Her parents entrusted the company and her to me before they died. If she leaves, we'll lose everything. Don't mention that stupid woman. Baby, quickly put the pajamas back on. You look so sexy in her pajamas, I can barely control myself. The next morning, I saw Ethan making breakfast for Chloe. Carrying my water glass, I walked to the kitchen doorway, smiling as I watched the couple cuddling affectionately. Brother, sister-in-law, you two are so loving. If only I could marry a man as gentle and considerate as my brother, I'd be so happy. Ethan's body stiffened slightly, but Chloe clearly reveled in it, pressing Ethan's arm against her chest and looking at me triumphantly. Don't you dare think about your brother, he's mine. Ethan clearly had reservations, pushing Chloe away slightly to create distance. Seeing this, I quickly placed their hands together, looking at them apologetically. Please don't let me cause any friction between you. Just treat me like I'm invisible in this house. In my eyes, you are a match made in heaven." Hearing this, Ethan immediately said, "Vivian, you're the one who said this." I nodded with a smile. From that day on, as if given permission, Ethan became openly affectionate with Chloe, whether I was present or not. A month passed like this. After my follow-up appointment at the hospital, I returned home as usual. As soon as I entered the house, I heard intense moans coming from the bedroom. I stood there for a moment, then raised my hand and knocked hard. Bang bang bang, I shouted loudly, "Honey, who are you in there with?" The couple on the bed, caught in the heat of the moment, froze in terror, breaking out in a cold sweat. They scrambled off the bed. Hearing no response, I continued shouting, "Not talking? I'm coming in." I threw the door open forcefully, only to find Chloe lying on the sofa while Ethan was pouring medicinal liniment into his palm. Seeing me, Ethan walked towards me, explaining, "Vivian, Chloe slipped on the stairs just now and hurt her back. I'm applying some medicine for her." I frowned, rubbing my head. "Why is she, a secretary, living in our house?" Ethan's face stiffened. He asked cautiously, "Vivian, has your memory returned? Do you remember who I am?" I looked at him, confused. "What are you talking about? You're my husband." As soon as I said this, Ethan immediately hugged me, his voice softening, complaining pitifully, "Vivian, your memory is finally back. You have no idea how hard this past month has been for Chloe and me, especially Chloe. You had a hard time? What happened during this period?" "I only remember being hit by a car, I can't recall anything after that." I clutched my head, looking distressed. Seeing that I truly couldn't remember, Ethan hugged me tighter, comforting me. "If you can't remember, don't force it. The most important thing is that we're together now. Also, you really need to thank Chloe. She's your lifesaver. When you were hit by the car, she was the one who took you to the hospital. She's been taking care of you all this time. And, of course, you were the one who invited her to stay with us." Ethan spoke with utter sincerity. Hearing this, I turned my head and stared intently at Chloe lying on the sofa, holding her gaze for a full 10 seconds. Just as the atmosphere grew tense, I walked over smiling and took Chloe's hand. "Thank you, Miss Chloe. It's fortunate we had you. You've worked hard during this time." Chloe visibly relaxed and gave an awkward smile. "It was nothing, really." I smiled back at her. I walked over to Ethan, took his hand, and said beamingly, "Ethan, you've worked hard too. Thank you for staying by my side even after my accident. I've decided to give you my 10% share in the company as our 5th wedding anniversary gift, letting you take full control of the Miller Corporation. What do you think?" Hearing I was transferring the shares, Ethan's eyes instantly lit up. "Vivian, are you serious?" He was so excited he stumbled over his words. Of course, Vivian Miller never lies, especially not to my husband. I looked at him, my face full of happiness. Ethan was so moved his eyes turned red. He hugged me and kissed me fiercely. "Vivian, you're too good. I'm going to throw a huge party for our 5th anniversary, invite all the socialites and tycoons, and I'll even stream it live online. Let the whole world see how happy we are." Seeing him so happy, I smiled. "Then I'll go prepare the contract." As for Miss Chloe, I glanced at Chloe, who was glaring at me, and instructed Ethan with a smile, "You must take good care of her. She's my lifesaver." After I left, Chloe immediately got up from the sofa, walked quickly to Ethan, and stared at him pitifully. "That bitch Vivian got her memory back. What about me now? You kissed her like that just now. Are your old feelings for her resurfacing?" Ethan, still elated, hugged her, kissing and coaxing her. "Don't worry, baby. I'm long tired of her. You're the one I love now. As soon as she transfers the shares to me, her family's company will be mine. Then I'll be the CEO of Miller Corporation, and you'll be the CEO's wife. As for Vivian, I can kick her out anytime." After Ethan's reassurances, Chloe finally smiled. "That idiot Vivian is still completely fooled by us." The wedding anniversary arrived quickly. Ethan invited all of Chicago's prominent figures and even brought in over a dozen influential media outlets, intending for them to witness the moment I transferred the shares to him. As guests arrived, they began chatting amongst themselves. "Mr. Ethan and his wife are truly loving. Still so affectionate after 5 years. Isn't it true? My husband and I started sleeping in separate rooms after just 2 years. For Mr. Ethan to go to such lengths for an anniversary, if it were me, I'd be incredibly moved. So wonderful. I hope fate grants me such a good man." Listening to the praise, Ethan kept exchanging glances with Chloe. Only when a staff member reminded him the equipment was ready did he snap back to attention. Ethan, dressed formally in a suit, took the stage with a solemn expression, holding a microphone, and began recounting our love story to the guests, his face beaming with happiness. All these years, Ethan, haven't had many things I particularly cherished. The one thing I cherish above all is my wife, Vivian Miller. We went from college sweethearts to husband and wife, and our life has always been happy. We will continue to grow old together, inseparable. After speaking, he nearly moved himself to tears and quickly stepped down, walking towards me. Seeing my already tear-streaked face, he took out the prepared necklace, ready to put it on me. "Honey, this is a limited edition necklace I specially selected for you. I'm sure you'll love it. What a coincidence, I have a gift for you too. See if you like it." My eyes red, I stood up, looking down at the kneeling Ethan, and pointed behind him. Ethan, assuming my gift was the share transfer agreement, his eyes shining and his smile barely contained, quickly stood up and turned around. But one glance, and his face instantly turned deathly pale. A photo was displayed on the large screen. In the photo, he was outside a hotel, passionately kissing a woman wrapped in his arms. The woman's face wasn't clear, but Ethan knew it was Chloe. "A stranger sent this to me from an unknown number. Who is this woman? Why did you betray me?" My eyes red, I stared at Ethan, showing him the message on my phone. His words caused an immediate uproar. Media reporters swarmed, pointing their cameras at the photo on the screen and at Ethan. "This is definitely photoshopped. If Mr. Ethan cheated, I wouldn't believe in love anymore." "Exactly. This must be a misunderstanding. Mr. Ethan is known throughout Chicago as the most devoted husband. When Vivian had her accident and lost her memory recently, he took care of her without fail. He even donated a kidney to Vivian. How could a man like that cheat?" I absolutely refused to believe it. Hearing everyone defending him, Ethan quickly grabbed my hand and explained, "Vivian, I swear I haven't done anything to wrong you. Someone must have photoshopped this to frame me." I pushed his hand away, staring at him with indifference. Seeing I didn't believe him, he stood before the crowd of socialites and media and made a solemn vow. "I, Ethan, swear. I have absolutely done nothing to betray Vivian Miller. If I have, may lightning strike me down." Then, he immediately took my phone, his face furious, about to call the number that sent the message. "I want to see today which bastard is trying to frame me." Before he could dial, Chloe rushed over to stop him. "Mr. Ethan, forget it. It's just one photo, no need to make a fuss." Her face turned pale, and she frantically shook her head at him. Ethan, seeing his CEO position about to vanish, was furious. He Chloe's hand and made the call. Buzz buzz buzz. A phone started ringing. Everyone turned towards the sound. The entire place fell deathly silent. "Miss Chloe, you sent the photo? Why? Do you know who the woman in the photo is?" I frowned, stepping closer to her. Before I could press further, Ethan rushed over and slapped Chloe so hard she fell to the ground. "You bitch. So it was you causing trouble. Even if you have a crush on me, you can't Photoshop pictures like this. Do you realize how much trouble you've caused me?" The slap was hard, leaving a purple mark on Chloe's pale face. She clutched her cheek, tears streaming down, looking pitifully at Ethan. "You hit me? You always forgave me no matter what I did, but now you hit me over a photo? You clearly said you loved me the most." "Shut up." Ethan cut her off before she could finish. Watching them argue and scuffle, my face remained impassive, my gaze cold. The next second, Ethan dragged Chloe in front of me and reprimanded her coldly. "Apologize to Vivian right now. If she doesn't forgive you, I definitely won't let you off." Hearing this, Chloe pointed at me and yelled angrily, "Why should I apologize to her? She cheated too." My head tilted slightly, my gaze towards her turning icy. "Ethan, I have proof. I have pictures of her cheating with Daniel. And Daniel is here today too. The media reported he settled abroad and might never return. Tell me, why did he come back this time?" "It's obvious he came back for a secret meeting with you." Chloe pointed towards a man standing in the corner. He wore a high-end custom suit, his features sharp and deep, standing out distinctively in the crowd. I looked slightly stunned. I had no idea Daniel would be here. Daniel was my childhood sweetheart. We grew up together, but he was always cold and distant, especially towards me. His presence at this banquet was completely unexpected. I looked up at Daniel. His eyes were still dark and deep, impossible to read. Seeing me looking at Daniel, Ethan's pupils contracted, and he questioned me, burning with anger. "Vivian Miller, you dare accuse me? What's this about? You were always talking about Daniel. I didn't expect you to actually cheat. You said you loved me the most, but what is this now?" Ethan gripped my hand tightly, his anger rapidly escalating. Seeing Ethan's pained expression, a reporter angrily approached me. "Miss Miller, is the photo real? Did you embrace Mr. Daniel?" the CEO of Sterling Enterprises? I calmly stated, it's true. The crowd erupted in murmurs. But the next second, my eyes reddened as I continued softly, Daniel is my childhood friend. He always cared about me, often visited my home. My parents adored him too. Naturally, we became like family. That day was the anniversary of my parents' death. With that, I turned to Ethan, asking him with red eyes, Ethan, on the 10th, I called you dozens of times. Why didn't you answer? Even Daniel, who has been abroad for 5 years, came back to pay respects to my parents. My parents raised you for so many years, treated you like their own son. You weren't at the office that day. Where were you? What were you doing? Why were you completely absent? The 10th? Ethan's face went white. That day, he was at home, rolling around in bed with Chloe. How could he have had time to answer the phone? Hearing this, people started scrutinizing the photo Chloe provided, noticing the background was a cemetery. Who would have a romantic rendezvous in a cemetery? Are you serious? Miss Miller hugs a guy and that's cheating? Stop talking nonsense, a female reporter frowned at Chloe. I think Ethan has the bigger problem. He didn't even pay respects to his own parents-in-law. What was he really doing? Ethan looked utterly panicked and blurted out without thinking, I had a fever that day, I was resting at home. Hearing this, I wiped my tears and raised my voice. Conveniently, I installed security cameras at home. I'd like to see if you were really at home that day. At these words, Ethan's and Chloe's faces instantly drained of color. They lunged at me frantically, slapping my phone out of my hand. Clatter. My phone screen shattered. Chloe, still not reassured, rushed forward and stomped on it twice with her high heels. Those 2 stomps completely destroyed my phone. Why are you two so nervous? On the 10th, I hadn't recovered my memory yet, and Miss Chloe was also living in our house. Your reaction, could it be you did something shameful you don't want seen? I questioned them, my eyes red. Ethan's face darkened. He grabbed my arm tightly. What nonsense are you spouting? Miss Chloe is your lifesaver. She took you to the hospital after the accident. And she took care of you diligently while you had amnesia. You, on the other hand. Why are you so malicious? Why did you install cameras at home? Don't you know Miss Chloe needs privacy too? Hearing this, I laughed bitterly. Lifesaver? I wish she were my lifesaver. I raised my hand, signaling a staff member nearby to play the video. Don't worry. The phone is gone, but I have a tablet. I'd like to see what you two were doing in my house. Ethan, who had been pale with fright all evening, was now utterly terrified. He watched the staff member press play, frozen in place. Don't. No. You can't play that. Stop it. Tonight's banquet is over. All of you, get out. Ethan was sweating profusely, frantically trying to drive everyone away, but no one left. They just stared coldly at his behavior. Watching him like this, a cold sneer touched my lips. The staff member pulled up the surveillance footage from the 10th. As soon as the video started, a woman's soft, seductive moans filled the air. Ethan, faster, I'm close. Chloe's voice was crystal clear, and the image of the 2 entangled figures on screen was sharp. The crowd gasped, faces filled with disgust. Reporters quickly aimed their cameras at Chloe and Ethan. Chloe's face flushed crimson, and she desperately tried to hide her face with her hair. Ethan stood stunned, completely devoid of color. Are they crazy? The most devoted husband actually cheated. Ethan was just denying it, even swore an oath. Isn't he afraid of being struck by lightning? How many men's vows are actually true? They're just lies to fool women. Vivian is truly pitiful, lost her memory and got cheated on. My eyes red, I trembled looking at Ethan and Chloe, pointing at them and screaming, what did I ever do to deserve this? Why are you doing this to me? I want to see exactly when you started cheating. I instructed the staff to play the surveillance footage segment by segment. The unedited videos were too explicit to show fully. Ethan and Chloe were in the kitchen, the living room, the bedroom, even shamelessly entangled on the balcony. Ethan, wearing your wife's clothes, having her call me sister-in-law, isn't it more exciting than before? Of course, it's fucking amazing. So, who's prettier, her or me? You, of course. You're way sexier. I got tired of looking at her long ago. Then why did you let her get pregnant with your child? Didn't you take care of that baby when you hit her? I never wanted Vivian's child anyway. You did good hitting her. Ethan's children can only be born by Chloe. As long as I get Vivian's shares, Miller Corporation is mine. I'll be the CEO, and you'll be the CEO's wife. That bitch Vivian is still completely in the dark. The revelations left the crowd utterly stunned. What a vicious pair of dogs. Not only did they cause a miscarriage and amnesia by hitting her, but they also messed around right in front of the real wife, and now they want to take everything. They want the company Vivian's parents left her. These two dogs deserve divine punishment if they don't die. As the video continued, I sank to the floor in front of the cameras, my legs giving way, staring at Ethan with eyes full of despair. Ethan rushed over, knelt before me, his eyes red, explaining, "Vivian, it wasn't. I was wrong. It was that bitch Chloe who seduced me. I didn't want to cheat. I don't love her at all." Hearing this, Chloe rushed over, grabbed his arm, her eyes red as she questioned him, "You clearly said you loved me the most. What are you saying now?" Ethan, thinking about his lost CEO position and ruined fortune because of Chloe, erupted in fury and slapped her across the face. "You damned whore. It's all your fault. If you hadn't kept seducing me, Vivian and I wouldn't be in this mess." Watching them push and shove each other, I abruptly pushed Ethan away and sneered, "She seduced you? Did your pants fall off by themselves?" "No. Vivian, what man doesn't cheat? In these 5 years, I've only been with Chloe. But I never once thought about divorcing you. Please forgive me just this once." Ethan grasped my hand, pleading desperately. "If nothing else, at least forgive me this once for donating a kidney to you." A young female reporter heard this and turned her camera towards Ethan, looking puzzled. A man willing to donate a kidney? How could he cheat? At least it shows Ethan loved Vivian before, right? Seeing someone speak up for him, Ethan hugged me, his eyes red. "Vivian, believe me, I really love you." Before he could finish, someone pulled him off me. By the time I saw who it was, Daniel's fist had already landed on Ethan's face. He punched him again and again, each blow harder than the last. "You bastard. Didn't you promise me 5 years ago that you'd love Vivian forever? But now you not only cheated, but you keep using that kidney to emotionally blackmail her. Did you even fucking donate a kidney to her?" My expression froze. "Daniel, what are you talking about?" Daniel lifted Ethan's shirt and ripped off the large bandage on his stomach. "He never had surgery on his stomach. He never donated a kidney to you. So you don't need to feel guilty towards him." My body swayed, and I almost lost my balance. This was completely unexpected. No wonder Ethan always kept his stomach covered, claiming he didn't want the scar to frighten me. It was because he never donated a kidney at all. Back then, I was so moved by this act that I cried and even agreed to marry him, letting him take over Miller Corporation. I never thought Ethan had been lying to me all along. Even the kidney donation was faked? Is anything about Ethan real? His heart is probably black too. Vivian's parents raised him, and this is how he repays their kindness? People like him deserve to be dragged down to the 18th level of hell. With this revelation, Ethan's image as a perfect gentleman and boss completely shattered. He looked at the surrounding reporters, then at the edited videos on the big screen, and suddenly understood everything. He lunged at me, pinning me against the wall, questioning me furiously, "Was this all your setup? You were faking the amnesia too, weren't you?" A cold smile touched my lips. "Ethan, the day you started cheating, you should have known this day would come. I will make your life a living hell." Hearing this, Ethan seemed to snap. He violently grabbed my neck, shouting angrily, "You were pretending all along? Since you want me dead, you won't live either." Seeing this, Daniel's pupils constricted. He rushed forward and punched Ethan, sending him flying. Gasping for fresh air, I found the cameras and let tears stream down my face. "Ethan, how could you be so cruel? Not only do you want to steal my inheritance, but now you want to kill me too. Did you ever have even a shred of love for me?" Then, pretending to be overcome with grief, I fainted into Daniel's arms. Instantly, the atmosphere in the venue reached its peak. After that night, Ethan and Chloe became public enemies throughout Chicago. Wherever they appeared, they were met with shouts and scorn. After spending a night recovering in the hospital, I woke up. Wiping the tears from my eyes, I calmly called the police and reported Ethan and Chloe for attempted murder. After Chloe was arrested, I brought my lawyer to the police station where Ethan was being held. "I won't divorce." "Absolutely not." Ethan was determined to resist. He glared at me viciously. "Vivian Miller, I underestimated you. But as long as I don't divorce, when I get out of prison, I'll still have shares in Miller Corporation, and this house will still be my home." My face impassive, I took him straight to court. "Before we got married, my parents had you sign an agreement. Have you forgotten? If you dared to cheat or wrong me in any way, you would leave with nothing. You won't get a single penny of my family's money." My voice was ice cold. "Now, everyone in Chicago, even the whole country, knows about your sordid affair with Chloe. Tell me, who do you think will win this lawsuit?" I hired the best lawyer in the country and won the case in just one day, successfully obtaining the divorce. Watching Ethan sign the divorce papers, I smiled, though tears welled in my eyes. At 18, Ethan coaxed me into a relationship. But I had always seen him as a brother and resisted his advances. At 19, I suddenly developed kidney failure. Ethan seemingly didn't hesitate to donate a kidney, telling me with red eyes that he loved me. Young and naive, I fell for his tenderness. We got married and lived together. He was genuinely good to me at first, cooking, taking me on trips, even crying over a small cut on my hand. But after my parents passed away, he changed. He started traveling frequently for business, grew distant, resentful even, and began messing around with his secretary. To this day, I still can't tell if his love for me was ever real. But real or fake, it doesn't matter anymore. Looking at Ethan through the glass window, I smiled brightly at him, just like I did when I was 18. Brother. This is the last time I'll call you that. Let's never see each other again. Ethan stared blankly at my bright smile. As I turned to leave, he stood up frantically, pounding on the glass window with red eyes. Vivian. Vivian. I was wrong. Please forgive me, okay? I didn't listen anymore and walked out of the police station without looking back. Outside, I saw a man standing beside a Maybach. I walked over quickly, smiling. What are you doing here? Daniel looked at me with concern. I was worried you couldn't handle it, so I came to see. He studied my expression as he spoke. Noticing my slightly red eyes, he didn't say much, just opened the car door for me. Get in? I'll take you home. I glanced at my own car parked nearby, hesitated for a second, then got into his car. During the drive, Daniel kept glancing at me. Seeing me staring out the window, he couldn't help but speak up. Ethan is just a scumbag. You don't need to be sad over him. The whole country knows what a jerk he is now. Just don't get back together with him. There are plenty of good men out there. I already divorced him, I quickly added. Hearing this, Daniel's tightly furrowed brow instantly relaxed. Good riddance. He doesn't deserve you. I nodded thoughtfully. Indeed. If I hadn't mistakenly believed he donated his kidney to me back then, I never would have married him, and none of this would have happened. Hearing this, Daniel slammed on the brakes. I looked at Daniel, who had pulled over to the side of the road, puzzled. Why did you stop? Is something wrong? Daniel didn't speak, his hands gripping the steering wheel tightly. After a moment's hesitation, he turned to look at me. What if, just hypothetically, I was the one who donated the kidney? Would you have fallen for me back then? I paused. Seeing the awkwardness settle in, I laughed and patted his arm. Daniel, stop joking. How could it have been you? Daniel hated me the most. Why would he donate a kidney to me? Besides, they weren't related. Hearing my words, Daniel seemed to deflate completely, losing all his energy. We didn't speak for the rest of the ride. He dropped me off at my doorstep and drove away immediately. Watching his car disappear, I finally went inside. This was the first time I'd returned to this house since the banquet. I had been staying elsewhere while dealing with the legal proceedings against Ethan and Chloe. As soon as I entered, I immediately started dismantling all the security cameras. I had installed them the night I was discharged from the hospital, telling no one, specifically to catch Ethan and Chloe, that adulterous pair, in the act. And I had never lost my memory, not for a second. Looking at the places where Ethan and Chloe had defiled, I felt disgusted. Maria, please find some workers for me. I want to completely redecorate the house. Burn all the furniture and bedding, it's too dirty. While the house was being renovated, I had nowhere to stay, so I pitifully asked my only friend in Chicago for help. Daniel, can I stay at your place for a few days? I expected him to hesitate, but to my surprise, he agreed immediately and even came to pick me up himself. When he showed me to the room, I paused, looking at the decor. Is this your girlfriend's room? The room exuded a feminine charm, exactly the style I loved most, so I couldn't help but ask. Hearing this, Daniel looked at me, puzzled. What are you talking about? I don't have a girlfriend. You haven't dated anyone all these years? I pressed with a smile. No, Daniel answered directly, without hesitation. Not even one person you like? I stared intently at him. He hesitated for 2 seconds, then looked up at me, his deep eyes rippling with emotion. Yes. His intense gaze and low, husky voice made my cheeks flush. I averted my eyes unnaturally. So why did you donate your kidney to me? I stopped beating around the bush and asked him directly. I had taken his words to Ethan at the party to heart. He clearly knew something. So I checked the records from that year and sure enough, I found Daniel's name. We're not related, why would you go to such lengths? I was genuinely curious and couldn't help stepping closer to him. Daniel's face flushed hot, his voice dropping low. I couldn't just watch you die. Is that all? That's all. Do you like me? I met his gaze directly. Hearing my question, his face instantly turned bright red. I'm sorry. Yes, I like you. I've liked you since we were kids. Hearing this, I stood on my tiptoes and kissed his lips lightly. There's nothing to be sorry about. I like you too. Daniel's eyes widened slightly. It took him a moment to process it, then he lunged forward, pushing me onto the bed and kissing me fiercely. I misspoke. I love you. Vivian Miller, I love you.